All right, what's up, boys? We're back. Another
Yes,
week.
sir.
How you
Another
guys doing?
week. I'm doing all right. Browns lost.
Yeah, doing good, doing good. Had a fun weekend watching football this late into January. So absolutely love that. Yeah, like Sean said, doing good.
Yeah.
Good to be back on here with you boys.
Yeah, I feel like, we're going to talk about this later, but as disappointing as this Browns loss was, remember a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, my bonfire was I hate January. It's always like the longest
Yeah.
month. It's the worst.
Oh,
It's
that's
so
right.
depressing.
Yeah.
The Browns got me through 19 days of it. So like I love that.
That's winning.
I love that, man. So that's winning football. Good teams win, great teams cover, and the Browns just covered for me. So that's all I care about.
Funny.
Man.
Free money, baby.
You know what-
Funny. I thought you said funny. I was like, what's so funny about that?
Funny.
So-
Put it on next merch that's coming out. Funny.
Funny.
So Monday, I start my 8 weeks paid parental leave from work.
Nice.
So I'm off work starting Monday for 8 weeks.
Oh, some
So-
extra Yardback content about to be coming your
Actually,
way.
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Dude, I have no idea. Like,
Take care
I
of the
hate-
kids.
That's probably one. I mean, probably cook because I was been made clear by my wife that if I don't cook, I'm dead. So if we want to keep Yardback going, I got to cook. So recipes are welcome.
All right, I got you. I got some good couch recipes.
I'm just
Like
gonna make salad.
quesadillas.
That's it. Salad. Just salad every night.
Salad.
You just doing some
Yeah, I don't know,
pizzas.
dude. No chicken nuggets. I don't know.
Yeah, just some dino nuggets.
Nolan's Go-Gurts.
Yeah,
I don't know.
dude, Go-Gurts go hard, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into the backyard briefing. Start with the bev cart. Sean, what are you sipping on this week?
All right, so I'm not sipping on breaking laws here. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm sipping on the entirety of it. Did you see that the dude was living in Chicago's airport for 3 months?
Oh, what?
3 months. He was living in Chicago's airport. He had a layover, so he was going to India. He went from LA to Chicago, and then I guess my man just made like a game time decision and was like, nah, and just stayed in Chicago's airport. Was living off of like the kindness of people. I read in one article, buying them food and stuff. And I guess I don't know. You got to sell it because like if I would have went up to security and be like, you got a beggar over there in like Terminal 43. Like you might want to go check that out, security guard. But I don't know, man.
Dude, that's wild.
3
That's-
months. 3
That's
months.
smart, though. I mean, an airport's like a little city. Most of them, especially Chicago's got a nice airport. So it's like you got food.
I don't
you
think
got
I've ever been to Chicago.
bathrooms.
Yeah, I've never been to Chicago's airport.
I don't know if I have, but I feel like it's got to be a good. I think it's called O'Hare Airport.
It
I don't
is
know why I
O'Hare.
know
It
this.
is
I don't
O'Hare.
think I've
Yes.
ever flown there.
If you
But-
didn't read the story and you didn't know, like that's impressive. You know that's O'Hare Airport.
Yeah, dude. Like
You're a nerd. nah,
It's just-
that's. I've been to a couple different airports. I haven't been to Chicago's. My favorite airport is Detroit. I think they have
Could
like
you-
the little trolley up top. It's
could
like-
you live in Detroit's airport? Do you think?
Yeah, dude. I think you can live in any airport. If you really think about it. You can't. I don't think you can name a better place to live for 3 months undetected. Besides maybe like a train station, like maybe a train station.
Yeah, but that's definitely not as like packed
luxurious.
full of like amenities.
It's not like it's
no.
luxurious because apparently and he was inside too because it was the layover, so he didn't have to go through like he wasn't outside of security. He was in. He was
Yeah,
in
he was
the
in.
airport.
He was in the airport. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's impressive. I wonder if they're gonna like sign him up. You know how if you have like a hacker that the FBI like signs on,
yeah.
if like the anti-terrorist units like, hey, we need you to join the task force. Let us know how you did this.
Yeah, because you know how
Expert.
to like infiltrate and like be behind enemy
Yeah.
lines and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like I read a bunch of things that it was saying he was scared to take the flight to India because of COVID. So I guess like my
But he
man
thought living in the airport.
Yeah, that's
Was
not
a
really
better
a
decision.
better solution.
I don't think he thought it through. So
Well, he
I
he,
mean,
I
he
guess
did
not.
something for 3 months, so shout out to him.
3 months, man. Do you think he had like a stall he used every time? Like that's his shitter.
Probably, dude. I mean,
I would.
I do the same. When I go to work, if I go to the bathroom, I go to the same stall every single time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Like he knew there was like a certain bathroom that nobody used, and like Terminal D, last gate, nobody was in there, and
Yeah.
he'd like take his little walk down there, newspaper in hand.
Yeah, I like to think that because I mean, if you
Good for
don't,
him,
if you
man.
don't have like your stall in a place where you work or something. I don't know, man. That's weird to me.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I go in, and if someone's in there, there's like I think like five, six where I work downstairs, and if someone's in the one I want, I get pissed. I'm like,
it ruins my day. It throws me off.
I'll come back later. Like, I just like, wait till that one's free. That's my
beauty of working from home. I just use my shitter all the time.
there you go.
That's
Around
true.
the clock.
That's true. No interruptions.
Yeah.
All right, kind of what's your Bev cart?
So I got 2 this week. First one is, I know you guys have seen it, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but the video of that guy on social media who always does the LeBron videos, pretend to be LeBron with his teammates, cracks me up. This last one was so funny. It was all based because, Harden got traded to the Nets, and this guy's pretending to be LeBron James, and he's yelling at his teammates, saying, I'm 36. Why are there still super teams being built? I'm 36. I'm not Thanos. That was a quote that was amazing.
That's hilarious.
And the best part about all of it was he's been making these LeBron videos for a while now. And finally LeBron kind of recognized one. So I was watching all the reactions of this guy reacting to LeBron, reacting to his post. And it was just really cool seeing how excited he was. It's just so funny how LeBron did not deny the fact that this video was 100% true. Like another super team. First the Celtics, then the Spurs.
Yeah.
Or the Spurs throughout his time.
Yeah.
And then you had the Warriors, obviously, and now you got subsequently the Nets. So it's just so funny. And then you even got Kawhi and Paul George that teamed up. But then, LeBron teamed up with his own people. But it's just so funny how LeBron just loved the video. And you could definitely tell he was alluding to the fact that he's like, this guy's kind of right. Like, you really had to team up Harden and KD, like 2 of the best offensive talents we've ever seen.
With Kyrie also. Don't forget about Kyrie.
With Kyrie.
Too,
so that's I love that. I was sipping on that. We got to get that guy in the podcast at some point. That dude's funny.
Yeah, we do.
The second thing I'm sipping on, now you guys know Gucci Man is my role model. Like top 3. It's like Lil Dicky, Gucci Man, Chris Pontius right there. And
what? Why are those your 3 idols? Chris Pontius?
He's actually my cousin. Funny story.
Chris Pontius.
Yeah, great dude. So as you guys know, I've talked a lot about Gucci Man in this podcast. Actually, when we first started this podcast, I was reading his autobiography, and then it inspired me to be a CEO, be a boss-ass bitch, and do my thing, right? So after I read that, my sister-in-law actually bought me the second book, Gucci Man's Guide to Greatness. It was like an autobiography follow-up, but more of like a guide to his greatness and how he got to where he is. For those of you who don't know the Gucci transformation story, it is outstanding. It is amazing. It is like top 5 greatest stories of all time. It's a great story. So I started reading it finally today. And I am so motivated to take this podcast and this Yardback Sports to the next level. It's not even funny. So people, watch out. I want to give you guys a quote, and I'll be giving you guys quotes every episode because they're that good. The first quote I have for you guys from Gucci Man's Guide to Greatness: you are either practicing to quit or you are practicing to win. I actually screwed up that quote. That's not the quote, actually. So the quote that I'm giving you guys this week is: you are either practicing quitting or you are practicing winning.
Love it. Love it.
That's deep.
Love it.
I mean,
Gucci.
it's that
Gucci.
simple. Like, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis? It's that simple.
You're quitting or winning. One or the
You're
other.
quitting, you're winning. You're practicing one of each. And I'm going to join Gucci Man, and I'm going to practice to win every day. So stay tuned, people. It's Yardback Top 10 coming for you.
So I think we need a Gucci quote of the week to kick off the episode from now on. So
to kick off the episode?
Yeah, every single week, Gucci quote of the week.
All right, okay.
We'll make that the next segment because we need some of that in our lives.
Yeah, make sure you tag him in this episode so we can get him on.
Yeah, let's get Gucci on.
For sure, dude.
Let's get Gucci on.
Gucci.
One day we're gonna hit with this, and like this someone random is just gonna be like, "Yeah, I'll get on with these dudes," and it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be like, "What?"
Like, all right, let's go check if this account's real. You know?
Yeah, right. Okay, hold on though. Before we move on, when did you realize Chris Pontius was in your top 3 idols? Like,
I mean, the first time I was ever watching Jackass when I wasn't supposed to, in like what, 4th or 5th grade, those came out for me.
But Chris Pontius, why not Knoxville? Bam.
Chris Pontius.
I never liked Bam.
Chris
personally.
Pontius saw an opportunity and took it. That guy was a truck driver for the stuntmen and like stunt things of Jackass, and they needed a guy to do wiener stunts. And guess who volunteered? Chris Pontius was the wiener guy. Saw an opportunity, took it by the balls, and went with it.
Literally. Quite literally, he did.
It's so funny that dude, Chris Pontius, Little Dicky, which I like Little Dicky a lot. He's a hard
Funny dude. Yeah, great show. Dave's a great show.
Knows what he wants. Gucci, I can get it. Just throw me for
Chris
a loop.
Pontius.
Chris Pontius.
Just lived his life.
Yeah.
All right.
Man.
My bev cart is the fact that TikTok helped me rediscover this song. Your picture, I'm coming with you, dear Maria, count me in. There's a story. Oh my god, this song goes so hard. Sean,
Dude,
me and Sean were jamming to this before we started recording.
yeah, the song goes hard, bro. Like, yeah, it gets me hyped up.
Dear Maria, count me in. Oh my god, song goes
I've seriously never heard it.
dude. That's
I haven't. I'm being dead honest. I've never heard that song.
well, you're missing out.
Well, his phone is just all Gucci. That's it.
Yeah, just
It's like-
and then like the Chris
50%.
Pontius like oral podcast.
Yeah. Yep. No, I've never heard that song. When you guys were singing, I was like trying to hear it. I was just like, it sounds like someone's banging a trash can.
No,
Nah, dude.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not a big punk rock guy. Like I never have been. But like, there's certain songs that just go hard.
No, that like
You know what I'm saying?
when did that song come out? Like it's something about those early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s.
That stuff that stuff hit different back then, man.
Well, I love the Sum 41, like those popular Sum 41 songs.
Yeah. Oh,
Some
and-
Papa Roach?
Papa Roach, yeah, Papa
Get some
Roach.
Papa Roach.
Papa
Blink
Blink
Roach.
182.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We're very, very
This
musically.
is my last resort.
Yeah.
Suffocation. No breathing. We're very musically diverse podcast here.
Yeah.
We should keep it that way.
Except
yeah, that
country.
was
I
crazy.
don't
If
listen
you
to
would've-
country.
If you would have told me that we would just talked about Gucci Man,
Mhm.
Chris Pontius, Lil Dicky, and then Dear Maria, Count Me In by All Time Low, all in the span of 5 minutes, I'd just be like, what?
I know.
No
And
way.
con-
Thought we were a
that's-
sports
that sounds like
podcast.
hey, right.
Yeah.
That's Connor's playlist. I bet it's like Gucci, Lil Dicky, Chris Pontius Wiener slaps, and then it's like, and then it's back to Gucci again.
Whatever,
Gucci.
man.
All right, let's move on to the bonfire. Sean, we're still in the bonfire this week.
So I'm a huge Marvel fan, right? Not so much comics. I'll never sit here and be upset that movies didn't follow the comics. That's just not me. I'm not a huge. I'll be upfront. Not a big comic guy, right?
Yeah.
But the movies, the Marvel movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I love it. Love everything. I watch every video. I've watched every movie probably like 3 times each. But Friday, WandaVision came out on Disney Plus, and I thought it was so underwhelming. I thought it was so bad. People were giving it great reviews, but I think this is a series that's meant to binge watch. I don't think it's meant for a week-to-week thing. So I think it'll get better. I trust Marvel. They've never let me down, right? It's the reason why they're that big. But I don't know, man. I just watched videos recapping it, and like there was like stuff in like wallpapers, like the cities from Age of Ultron and stuff like that. And it's just, I'm not trying to dive that far into these Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like just make it simple. Like you don't got to go this far into it. It's just too in depth, man. I fell asleep on the second one. I was out.
Yeah, I've never really been a big Marvel fan, honestly, so I can't really relate too much. But
Well, then what do you watch? Why do you not watch Marvel?
dude, I've just never been a big like superhero movie guy. Like don't get me wrong.
So who would you be if you were a superhero? Who would you be? Like you don't even have that, dude?
No, I don't. I never thought about that. It's like, you know, if you were like, yo, Nolan, we're gonna watch Superman tonight or Iron Man or whatever else Marvel movie. I'm like, all right.
Did you just say Superman's a Marvel movie?
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Let's move on.
I don't know superheroes.
Let's move on.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's just not. It's not exciting for me. I don't care. They're not
Wow.
exciting. Like, yeah, they got funny, like not funny, but like cool action scenes and whatnot. Like, I'm never gonna search them out myself.
Wow. I'm a little floored here.
You also hated Snoop Dogg last week, so I want to
I
hear.
didn't hate.
Yeah, true.
No.
You hated
I
Snoop
did-
Dogg.
I hated that he was everywhere I turned around. everywhere, and he was on Corona
this is-
commercials.
No, you're
He's everywhere.
Hey, what's
Snoop Dogg
up,
is
player?
everywhere.
What's up, player? It's playa.
Like, he's everywhere.
But yeah, so
Oh,
I'm not a big Marvel movie or superhero movie guy, and I'll probably get crucified for that because I know most people are. But you know what? I'm sticking to my guns. I'm standing my ground. But
what do you watch? Like the Hobbit?
The Hobbit. I mean,
Lord,
no, I don't
Lord
even,
of the Rings.
No, I'm not.
I don't watch. I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never
feel
seen
like
Harry
I
Potter
have.
either.
That's what I'm saying. I've never seen Harry Potter.
I've never seen that.
Twilight. No.
How? That's not the same realm.
Yeah, I know. It just popped in my head. Twilight just popped in my head, so I had to say it.
Twilight.
What are you throwing your mouth?
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, no one's a fan of 50. Okay.
No, I'm not.
All right. Let's move on to my bonfire. Bring us some baseball. We can finally get into some sports. After
Yeah.
we could do a whole entertainment podcast. We
haven't talked about sports once.
So my bonfire, first one, I got two really quick ones, both baseball. First one, I saw Babe Ruth swing the other day on Twitter, and it's in the bonfire. I don't understand how he's one of the greatest players of all time. That swing just looks so subpar and interesting. Just comparing it to guys nowadays, like the power you see in their swings. I don't know if it's the videos of Babe Ruth that they're just that old, but his swing looks like it wouldn't even hit like a pitching wedge 120 yards. That's how weak it looks.
I agree.
Don't at me. He's an all-time great, but Nolan, what do you got to say about
Dude,
it?
I was gonna say like they just played against like milkmen and off-duty firemen, so that's probably why they're just throwing meatballs down the plate. But I will say though, they had some crazy names back in the day. We could do a whole podcast on just like baseball names. It's like Pee Wee Reese. It's just so funny.
That's a pretty dank name, actually.
But yeah, dude, I'm with you, man. It's
Nolan, that should be your new nickname on your podcast personality, Pee Wee Reese.
Pee Wee. I'd love that. I'll gladly go by Pee Wee Reese. That's sick.
The second MOB note that's going on the bonfire. Not sure if you guys saw this story or not. This story is not going on the bonfire. The reaction to it is. So Jared Porter, the Mets GM, who just traded for Francisco Lindor, got fired today because he sent some nude photos to like a foreign reporter about 6 years ago, and it's all surfacing now. But that's not what I want to throw in the bonfire, even though that deserves to be in the bonfire. What I'm throwing in the bonfire is I turned up Get Up this morning expecting to watch some basketball highlights or football highlights. And instead of seeing that as my first thing on ESPN, I have to listen to Jeff Passan. Do you guys know who Jeff Passan is?
Yep.
He's just like, he's awkward to listen to talk.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
And I have to listen to this guy, and I talk about contracts, and I talk about trades. He comes out and just is reading these text messages that Jared Porter, this guy, solicited to this woman, unsolicited. And he, quote for quote, said the word bulge multiple times. And he also said penis multiple times on ESPN Get Up this morning. So Jeff Passan saying penis and bulge is my bonfire of all bonfire on Get Up. I don't want to listen to Jeff Passan talk about penises and bulges on Get Up in the morning with Mike Greenberg. It's the last thing I want to hear when I wake up in the morning.
That's yeah.
That whole story, if you'd like get into it, is just very like interesting because like apparently like when he sent that picture, apparently it was like some weeks when she hasn't answered him.
Yeah.
Like there was
62 unread messages before he sent that picture.
So was my man just like, fuck it, and just get the lighting out,
dude.
Like what?
Oh my god! And there were horrible pictures. Like guys, everybody out there, stop sending weird wiener pics.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just
especially unsolicited ones.
Dude. Yeah.
Just like
make sure your tabs are in it.
Yeah. Here's a golden rule. Just don't send them.
Just don't.
Especially if it's just the wiener itself.
if you're with a woman, you'll see her in person, right? Like just don't send them.
Don't send it.
And if you're not, just don't send it. It's that simple. Like it's just so. Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, that's that story. The more you read into it, more it's like, yeah.
There was I think Sports Illustrated is the one that made like a big article on it, and you could read all the text there, which it's disgusting. But I agree. Hearing Jeff Passan say those words is probably not the greatest way to start off a morning.
Like it's so hard to listen to that guy talk, and he always has he's a good baseball reporter. I'll give him that. But listening to him talk is so hard. And the fact that I heard him say like penis and balls multiple times kind of
that's just tough.
Yeah.
Stuff. All right, my bonfire is just fans thinking they're smart, and this really just comes from Pat Mahomes got injured this weekend, which we'll talk about later, and Mac Wilson's hit the Browns linebacker. People were on Twitter calling for Mac Wilson's head, saying that it was a dirty hit. And when people were like responding back, like, no, dude, like it's just unfortunate, you know? He like if you saw the hit, he kind of grabbed him by the neck a little bit and like brought him down. It did not seem malicious at all. And like Mac Wilson even tweeted about it, and Pat Mahomes like, it's all good, brother. But then people are still tweeting back saying like, no, it's dirty. Bro, are you on the field? Are you Mac Wilson? Are you Pat Mahomes? Like, what are you talking about? It's dirty. Like, these are two dudes that literally just, like, made up. It's like, it's all good, dude. Like, it's football. It's just it's a bad hit that was just unfortunate. And people are like, no, it's dirty. Dude, I just hate people. I hate fans.
Yeah, I think
they're smart.
I don't think by any chance there was no way that was a dirty hit. And people are just reacting based off of the result of Mahomes. If Mahomes got up and walked away,
no one talks about it at all.
No one would talk about it. Same thing like Rashard Higgins got up and walked away. But that was a dirty hit.
But if he would have been dead on the ground, oh my, yeah.
Or if he would have stumbled like Mahomes, everyone would have been like, wow, that dude's a dirty player. It's just because Mahomes got no way did I even once think that was a dirty hit.
Yeah, I think people don't understand. It was like 3rd and 2, and they ran they had a design QB run from Mahomes, which is your $500 million quarterback is got to run a QB draw on 3rd and 2. All right, Andy Reid, you might want to relax, dude.
Yeah.
But again, it was a 2-yard run. Mac Wilson's at the first down marker. He's got to stop Mahomes when he can. Mahomes kind of like turtled up a little bit to like try to get that first down, and it's just unfortunate. So the people are just talking like they're on the field, bro, and they hear these players. Like,
I mean, he didn't even hit his head. He didn't even hit his head on anything.
So that's an interesting thing. Like we watched the highlight over and over again. Me and my buddies that were at the bar getting buckets.
Nice.
And it was so weird because you didn't see like any forceful contact.
Yeah.
And I was still confused until today. And then I tuned into our favorite show, The Herd.
Oh, Jesus.
And he had Jay Glazer on. And Jay Glazer has like some UFC background. And he goes, people are misunderstanding that like he didn't get a concussion because he's passing concussion protocol as of today. What happened was Mac Wilson just caught him on the artery and on his way to the ground, cut off the artery flow and actually choked him out. And that's why he got up all woozy.
Yeah,
so that's the running theory I'm behind. I don't think he has a concussion. I think he just got knocked out.
Severely, very knocked out.
For a couple seconds. So I think he'll be back against Buffalo. We can talk about it later. Because if he's not back against Buffalo, it's going to be a stinky game.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But yeah, I'm just sick of fans thinking they know what they're talking about. You know, it's just like, you're not on the field, bro. You're like, whatever. All right. Let's move on to the back shoulder fade. Sean, what's your back shoulder fade this week?
I'm going to keep it vague, but
I love it.
There's going to be a big NBA deal coming up here, and I think it's going to be centered around the Sixers. That's all I'll say. I got a feeling there's a big trade coming on. If it's not NBA, it could be baseball or football. I just think there's a big trade in the works somewhere. It could be Deshaun Watson. Something is coming soon where it's a big mega trade where it's going to give us a ton of content.
Speaking of that, you see Philly was going to send Ben Simmons in that package for James Harden, but then the Rockets never called them back.
Yeah, but apparently it was done. Like, apparently it was sealed. The paperwork was in. If I'm Ben Simmons, I'm at the crib.
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to trade me.
Yeah, dude. The fact that got leaked out, oh, my God. Mail it in. Simmons is out of here this year. There's no way you can keep him after that. You know what I'm saying?
I just think, So, as a whole, I think there's a big trade in the works. In the next 7 days, by the time we record next, something big will happen.
I like it.
I hope so, man. I'm in for that. I love just, groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that leads me into my back shoulder fade, which might solidify Sean's back shoulder fade. But Kyrie Irving needs to get traded for some depth on that Nets team. KD and James Harden, they don't need any more offensive help. Kyrie's going to come back, and I just don't think he's going to be happy with his playing time. Yeah. Not even his playing time, just his shots that he's going to get up. I think you trade Kyrie for another shooter and a defender. You got Joe Harris. Get another shooter around those guys. It's tough to say because I absolutely love Kyrie Irving. We talked about it last week. I'm one of his biggest fans because of what he did here in Cleveland and my ability to work fools with him in 2K, especially Cal Schneid. So I think that a trade needs to happen there. I don't know if it will. I think they'll give him some time to try and figure it out. But I think if I'm the Nets, I'm looking to dish out Kyrie Irving. Unfortunately, his trade value went down, but you got to flip him for somebody.
I don't know. To me, that's bigger than the scale I was thinking, man. That would be a massive trade to me. That would be massive news. Yeah. Just because now you got a guy like Kyrie going on his fourth team if he gets traded, going on his fourth team, and we have some recent issues with him, about going rogue and stuff. But like, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I think it's.
Go ahead, Nolan.
I think it's really interesting. Think about it though. So last year's super team, obviously the Lakers, but the Clippers too, with Kawhi and PG. And now let's say the Nets do trade Kyrie. Now you're going to the playoffs with James Harden and Kevin Durant. Now I want to ask you guys, who do you think is the better duo? KD and Harden or Kawhi and PG? And you look at it, Kawhi and KD are both champions. They're both dudes that you could lead them to a championship. They can lead you to a championship. And then Harden and PG are kind of guys that are like, they kind of don't show up when it matters. Like which duo do you think is more dangerous?
Whoever's with Kevin Durant.
KD and Harden, easily.
I agree.
Not even a question. In my opinion, not even a question.
Yeah, dumb question, Nolan. Thanks for playing.
I'm sorry.
Next.
It's okay. All right, next question then for you guys. Speaking of the Nets trade, we know there's 4 teams involved, one of them being our hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. So in that trade, they actually got probably one of the best pieces outside of the 4 main ones. You had LeVert, Oladipo, and Harden, obviously. And the Cavs actually got Jared Allen, who's like a young stud. He's 22 years old, so younger than all of us, except maybe Nolan.
Same age. We're both
same age.
Yep.
Jeez.
And so now that the Cavs got him, there's all these rumors about Drummond's going to be gone, JaVale McGee's going to be gone, possibly Kevin Love. So I want to know from you guys, if we trade Andre Drummond, he's a very unique player. He can put up 20 and 20 whenever he wants. Do you see a team that he can get traded to that makes them more of a contender today than they were yesterday? Now, I have an answer for this because I had a long deliberation with our good friend and former and fellow Glocksmith, Preston Smith, about this. I want to hear from you guys if you think there's a team Drummond can go to and make them somewhat of a contender.
I'm going to go with Boston. I think Boston would be a good fit for him. I know they just signed Tristan and they have Daniel Tice, but again, like you said, Drummond's is a crazy player. And my only worry for him though is that he's never not been the number one guy, which is weird for a center in today's NBA to be the number one guy. But that's how he was in Detroit, and that's how he's been in Cleveland. So it'd be interesting to see him go to like a contender that's already got like, he's like essentially the third, fourth option. But I think Boston might work really well with him.
Yeah, I was just looking, and I'm looking, and what about the Hawks? Right, they got Clint Capella out there, but he would have to. But it's on Andre to take a lesser role, right?
Or
he wouldn't
Capella
be that
take
guy.
a lesser role.
Or Capella, but
who's better?
Yeah, but they're both making a shit ton of money, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just throwing that out there because I mean, if you give Trae Young 2, 3, like in one possession, 2 or 3 offensive rebounds. I mean, he's good. He's going to score. They're going to score.
Yeah,
that could be interesting.
So I'll give you 2. And Nolan, the Celtics are one of the ones Preston and I talked about.
Yep.
Because that's interesting. He's a better man's Tristan Thompson.
For sure.
Yeah. He's not going to get you 20 and 20 every night, but he can get you 20 and 20.
And he plays some damn good defense down low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good fit. But I'm thinking Western Conference. There's 2 teams that I think would make a move for him to help them get a little beefed up on the interior and try and make a run in the West.
If you say the one I was thinking
Can I
of.
guess?
Yeah, I got 2. So
all right, I want to guess. I'm guessing 2. Portland and Dallas.
Yeah, exactly those 2.
Hey, let's go.
those two teams. I mean, you got Dallas, who's got Luka, obviously, and Kristaps. So he's not an interior player. So if you put a center like Drummond in there, just to make another dynamic to guard and play against, that's kind of nice. Like that's something you got to deal with.
Yeah.
And then if you same thing with the Trailblazers, you send them out there. You already got Robert Covington, who's a stellar wing defender, 3-point shooter, and you got 2 of the best guards in the league in that backcourt. So if you put Drummond in either one of those situations, I think they take a step up to at least send the Lakers or Clippers to a 6 or 7 game series. I'm not saying they're going to win anything with him, but I think that's what we got to look for if the Cavs are trying to deal him. It's just someone that really needs him. So that's why I was trying to think of, okay, well, who really needs Drummond to take that next step? And I think Dallas and Portland are the 2 teams, Boston a close third, that could use him tomorrow to make a run this year.
Yeah. And I definitely think, we could get more into the details, in another episode and whatnot. But my only worry would be, what would Portland and Dallas be willing to give up?
Right. Like, you have to make the money work too.
Off the top of my head, if the Cavs are going to have Andre Drummond, now while they might be desperate because he's going to probably walk the end of the season anyways, they're going to need some NBA, ready to produce today talent to get it done. And do those teams who are already kind of like teetering on good, do they have the talent to get rid of in order to make that trade? Like, that'd be my question.
That's a good point. We could talk about a whole episode about trades in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, and you got to consider he's on an expiring contract. So would he even go to a contender, or would someone who a team that stinks want him for an expiring contract to move, to free up some cap space next year? That could always be an option.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Super interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, but I do like that though. It's gonna be interesting too because. Unfortunately, the Cavs probably are going to deal him, even though he has been great for them this year. But he's just Jared Allen's 22. He's younger.
Yeah.
Great chance to grow with the young guys in the Cavs. So I definitely think there's going to be a trade coming very soon.
And we literally got him for like a vending machine last year.
Brandon Knight, John Henson.
like we literally got him for like a pack of sodas.
And when they got him, they knew what they were doing. Kobe Altman knew that he was going to be a trade piece for this year.
Yeah. And also I think it worked out even more perfectly because they didn't know Jared Allen was available until this James Harden trade came about,
Yeah.
Like I think they kind of
Milwaukee. Yeah. Oh, that was a great trade for the Cavs. Like, yeah, we'll throw in a Milwaukee first rounder 2 years from now. Yeah, we'll take one of the top center prospects in the league.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Exactly, man. Yeah, great move. But all right, my back shoulder fade again. NBA. I think this NBA season is going to have a more of an asterisk perception on it than last year did in the bubble. And I say that because we've already seen 2 teams get their pretty much entire week of games wiped out in Boston and Washington. And the guys like Tatum have been out for extended periods of time. Again, like the Wizards haven't been playing. And I think that COVID's not going to stop. It's not going to stop in the NBA. There's going to be teams, good teams, that get weeks, multiple games derailed because of this virus. And I think it might mess up the standings a little bit. It might mess up the playoffs. And I think at the end of the day, this might be a more if you follow NBA Twitter, the Mickey Mouse playoff rank, because they call it that because it was in Dallas and it was, or not Dallas, Orlando, and it was a Disney complex and whatnot. But I think this might have a more of an asterisk because I think more teams are going to be affected by it.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, you break it down, it makes sense. I mean, because you got to worry about more than injuries this year. You got to worry about injuries and COVID because, I mean, how many games are they averaging a week? 2, 3, right? So, I mean, someone out on COVID, if they go into a 14-day quarantine period, that's 6, 7 games. That's huge.
Yeah, which Jason Tatum screwed me in fantasy because he's on the COVID list, which, again, I hope he's okay. Not my main priority, but, like, he screwed me.
That's your main priority. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's my main priority. Like, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay.
Nolan and I are facing off this week, and of course, I forgot to check yesterday, and I left like 150 points on my bench.
Dude, I was pumped. I saw that. I'm like, damn,
brutal.
Connor's about to whoop my ass this week. Nope, forgot to start Ja.
I'm the second or third highest scorer in the league, and first day of the week, I had 4 guys on the bench. So
yeah, that's tough. That's why I set my lineup every single Monday. I go through, set it for the whole week. I get that done quick.
Or something.
Yeah, seriously, put an alarm on your phone or something. All right, that is the backyard briefing picks for this week. Now let's turn to the NFL. Obviously, the main topic of discussion. We got some heartbreak this week. We're going to talk about that game last, build up to it. First off, we had a great game in Green Bay at historic Lambeau Field, which, by the way, I need to attend a game at Lambeau Field. That's just side note. That stadium's awesome.
Yeah.
So Packers won 32-18. What stood out for you guys in this game? Anything special?
Just one thing above all. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. When he's
a
locked
bad
in,
man.
when Aaron Rodgers is locked in, I mean, people make the game look easy, but he just makes it look easy.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers to me is different. Tom Brady's the GOAT. I get it. But when Aaron Rodgers is locked, the only thing I can compare it to is Josh Allen. Josh Allen can throw a ball. It feels like 80 yards, and his arm barely moves.
Yeah.
He makes it look like super easy, but like Aaron Rodgers makes the entire game look easy.
Yeah. It's
Just
just like
looks
the definition of when you did the cliche thing of the game slowing down for players once they get a little bit experience.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been slowed down for Aaron Rodgers for 15 years. Win or lose, it just looks so effortless.
Yeah, and like I said weeks ago, he's the MVP this year, and it looks
For
like
sure.
I'm going to be right.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
put that on Yardback, top 10. Sean's always right. Right? My opinions are facts, fellas.
Yeah.
So,
Same here. Just like I said, the Rams were probably going to be the super sneaky Super Bowl.
yeah, just like I said, the Raiders were a team to watch, a dark horse team.
Sheesh. Don't trust John Gruden teams down the stretch.
No.
2 years in a row that they've failed down the stretch. Do not trust John Gruden-led teams.
So the two things I got out of this game, it was over before it started. The Cooper Kupp injury of him not playing.
Yeah.
That was along with, we could talk about it later, but Taysom Hill being out. With those two guys being out of their offenses, I knew it was not going to be easy for them to score, and that kind of proved true. The other thing that drove me crazy about this game is people slurp Aaron Donald so hard.
You don't think you think he's overhyped?
No. Here's what I'm saying. He's a great player. But when you're in a playoff game at Lambeau Field, it's 2nd and 7. You make a great stop, and you get an after the play penalty for pulling on a guy's face mask. So instead of it goes from 3rd and 7, they're not even in scoring range or anything, to now they're on the 25-yard line after it's only 3-0. That was a turning point in the game for me. I was like, you gave the Packers a chance to go up by 2 scores, and your measly offense. I was watching that game so mad because of Aaron Donald getting all this hype, and he goes out there in the first quarter and pulls a guy down by the face mask after the whistle. I'm like, how stupid do you have to be? That is so dumb. And then he's out there crying after the game, and everyone's like, he gave it all he got. I'm like, no, he didn't. He's a moron. He gave away that first, like, those drives in a football game are so important. I know they ended up losing by more than the spread or whatever. It's one possession. It's a change of momentum. Everybody knows that the Packers have a really good script to start the game. So the fact that you're giving them extra plays, extra possessions, and an automatic 3 points by doing a stupid after the play penalty, are you kidding me? I don't want to hear this talk about he's the greatest and all that. Whatever. He's up there, but that play was so dumb and boneheaded, and he's crying on the sideline after the game. I'm sick of Aaron Donald at that point. Put a horrible taste in my mouth for him. Myles Garrett's the best defensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, is this one of those things where those after the whistle things and like taunting
So
and
frustrating.
It's so frustrating. And it's just like, the people, like, I still don't know. I don't know if it happened this year, but letting the ball go before you cross the goal line, I just don't know how people still do that.
Don't think it's happened this year. In the traditional way of just like Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. I know it's happened more than once, and it's unbelievable how they still do that. Yeah. How do you do that? How? So
you just can't give away possessions like that in the NFL in a playoff game. Like the Browns, like they lost by 1 touchdown, and we'll talk about it later, but those possessions are just so valuable. So being the greatest player in the NFL, as everybody deems you as on the defense, to do that, get off your pedestal.
Yeah. And one thing I was going to mention about this game, the one thing that the Packers have been missing for the last 15 years of Aaron Rodgers is a run game. Saturday, in their divisional game, they ran for 188 yards.
Oof.
That is the difference with the Packers this year, and that's why they are so dangerous. And even though in my playoff predictions I took the Bucs to go to the Super Bowl, dude, if the Packers can run the ball that effectively, Aaron Rodgers is gonna be, oh my gosh, it makes the game so much easier for him.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That offense is scary.
It's so scary.
And right now, though, it's funny because no one's talking about their first-round pick last year and how they needed to get more weapons and this and that, right? No one's talking about Jordan Love. I mean,
I mean, hindsight's 2020, dude. I mean,
No,
if
they did the right decision. I mean, think about it. They absolutely, if they can make it to the Super Bowl this year, win it, and then get another 1 to 2 more years like this with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love
that's
transitions seamlessly.
That's fair.
They grand slam of a draft picking him.
I will say Jordan Love is nasty in Madden for no reason. Every time you do a fantasy draft, he gets drafted. He's a starter and he's dope. Don't know why.
Starter?
If you do like a fantasy draft, so like like obviously players get drafted, he starts and he's dirty. Couldn't tell you why.
That's wild.
But another one more thing before we move on, the Devontae Adams, Jalen Ramsey, they were talking. They were chirping before the game. Devontae Adams went for 9 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. I don't know the percentage of where Ramsey was one-on-one with him, but
Devontae Adams is the best receiver in football. Don't at me.
Jalen Ramsey is the best cornerback too.
Devontae. So
no, for sure, I'm with you on that. All right, let's move on to the next game. We had Bills-Ravens. Bills taking on the Ravens, 17-3. What are you guys' thoughts on that game?
Very disappointed in the Ravens' performance. It was a good game. I don't know what Lamar Jackson was doing on the interception in the end zone. My theory is Johnson, the guy who intercepted it, blended into the end zone. That's my only theory. Yeah. Because I don't know why Lamar threw that football. And if you look at the replay from like the quarterback pocket, you can see how he might have missed them. Quadruple covered. Yeah, it was third and goal or from like the 9 or 10. It was They just covered the goal line, and Greg Norman, the offense. Yeah, Greg Norman.
Greg Roman.
Greg Roman.
Yep.
Same
letters.
Yeah. He needs to get fired. He proved that this year he did not know what to do with Lamar Jackson. That run game is nice, but once they got to the playoffs, like I don't know why you just abandon the pass game at all costs. There's no dynamicy there.
Yes, and I think I mentioned this in a previous episode. Greg Roman was the OC with Colin Kaepernick, back in his glory days, and he fills it out quick. He was the OC with Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo, and it's just he's lightning in a bottle. But once it leaves, you don't have that gimmicky offense anymore.
So
that's when once you get to the playoffs and there's better coaching, better players, it just doesn't work as well.
So are we seeing kind of like the ceiling for Lamar, you think?
No. In Greg Roman's offense, yes. But I think if you put Lamar Jackson in an offense that's not a one-trick pony or like a high-level high school offense, I think if you put him in one with play action, bootlegs, rollouts, something similar to the Niners, the Browns, the Packers, something that gets him out of the pocket, moving around, not just doing power QB runs and straight halfback dive play action. I think Lamar Jackson is talented enough and dynamic enough to do much better than he is. But he's been given like a pair of pocket eights every time he steps on the field.
Yeah.
He's just not given, and his wide receivers are trash, dude. That Lamar Jackson, I became a fan of this year. I think he's so dynamic. He's so dynamic.
Yeah.
So the fact that
I love Lamar,
they're just so the offense is just so predictable and bad. I really think he needs to go.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think their first pick in the draft or free agency, they got to address wide receiver. They have to because it's so bad. Hollywood Brown has been disappointing for the most part. Mark Andrews is a top 5 tight end, top 3 you could argue.
Yeah.
He's nasty, but they have nobody on the outside that can consistently get open, and the Bills took advantage of it because, again, better coaching in the playoffs. It ruins them.
So on that, look, people have said that they're going to try and go after some free agency wide receivers. You got Allen Robinson, Kenny Galladay.
I think Godwin's a free agent
really?
Also.
Okay. But here's the thing. In Roman. I don't know. I keep saying Norman. He's that irrelevant to me at this point. He's so bad as an offensive coordinator. He never had great wideouts in Buffalo or San Fran.
Yeah.
Because wide receivers wouldn't want to sign up and play for him because they know they weren't a big part of the offense.
Yeah.
Which in today's NFL, how do you not have a wide receiver be a big part of your offense?
It doesn't make sense. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable at all.
If they're going to get a playmaker on the outside, they're going to have to do it through the draft because I don't think they're going to get one to come sign on willingly.
Yeah. But some thoughts on the Bills. They haven't really been that great in the first 2 playoff games. But I think if you're a Bills fan, you should be encouraged because they haven't done well, but they're in the AFC Championship game. Like, the Ravens dominated time of possession. And I don't know if you guys watched the game. I watched the game with all Bills fans, so I watched the entire thing.
Including yourself.
Stop it. I'm not a Bills fan. Stop it. I'm not, dude.
He's a Bills supporter, not a Bills fan.
I'm a Bills supporter. Thank you.
Right,
I've been trying to say this for like 9 months. Oh, gosh.
All right.
You see the poster behind me?
I see
woke
it.
up feeling dangerous.
Okay.
I woke up feeling dangerous.
All right. You're right.
Gosh, man. You see those? That's a game poster from when we went like 0-16.
All right, you
Game
got it.
poster.
Touche.
Yeah, come on. Don't play with me like that. But no, what I'm saying is they have not played well at all. Really. Their defense has been good, but their offense is – Josh Allen wasn't great on Saturday night. So I think it's a good sign that they're at least still at this point while they're not playing their best football, because in the playoffs, you kind of just got to throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks for half the time. So that's definitely encouraging for the Bills, but also now you're playing the defending champions.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest takeaway was Josh Allen's arm is electric. I mean, he would stand there flat-footed, throw the ball, and I'm like, oh, cool, 10-yard slant. And, like, the ball just keeps going. I'm like, holy shit, is this like a glitch in the Matrix? Like, he just threw the ball 50 yards flat-footed with 3 guys around them on a rope. That's my biggest takeaway. I don't care what – I know Mahomes gets credit for having the strongest arm. Without a doubt, Josh Allen has the strongest arm in the NFL. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, when they needed a big play, those two figured it out. It reminded me a lot of Aaron Rodgers when he had Greg Jennings. And the sticky situation, or even Ben Roethlisberger and Hines Ward.
Yeah.
3rd and long, 2nd and long, when they needed that first down, Stephon Diggs was catching the ball with like 5 feet of separation.
Yeah.
It was like Cowherd always says, man, they are good at situational football. They proved that again against the Ravens. They kind of manhandled that game from start to finish. And I think they're going to give the Chiefs a game. But a Browns-Bills matchup would have been sick.
That would have been awesome. Speaking from someone that's a Browns fan in Buffalo, that would have been
I said I was coming up to Buffalo next week if the Browns were playing the Bills.
Yeah, dude, we would have had some fun. But
I would have been crashing right behind you in that room. We would probably have cuddled all night.
Dude, if the Browns would have won, I don't care. Yeah, man. I was going to say, some thoughts about the Chiefs before we move on to the next game. They've looked – it's so weird. And I know they had Chad Henne play for the majority of the second half. But, like, they look so dominant.
It's not fair.
But, honestly, they were one lucky defensive play with Higgins fumbling in the end zone away from being a 16-10 game at halftime.
Yeah.
Like, how could they look so dominant, but also, like, they're not pulling away at the same time?
Yeah.
Situationally,
that's what's crazy for me.
Situationally, though, Andy Reid knows exactly what to call at all times.
Yeah, that's true.
And all right, let's cut before we get into all the Browns Chiefs. Let's talk about Bucks Saints first, which was it was the last game of the weekend for a reason. Tom Brady, 43 years old, against Drew Brees, over 40, not exactly sure of his age.
41,
but his 41. Last game for the Saints. It's not official yet.
It should be.
He looked brutal. He's done so much for that city. Him and Sean Payton turned that franchise around. I remember, Nolan, you and I watching the Saints versus Colts in the Super Bowl at the Dombeck's house back in the day.
Yeah.
And an onside kick at halftime, that the Saints they were a team of destiny the year after Katrina, done so much for that city. It's a shame that they've lost so many close playoff games over the last, 4 or 5 years. This was actually the first time they haven't lost by 1 possession or less.
Yeah.
So technically they broke the streak. They lost by 10 points.
Hey, let's go.
But my biggest takeaway from that was how cool it was. I don't know. You guys probably saw the video after the game was all over. Breeze and Brady just chopping it up. Brady knew all Breeze's kids. It was just like, it was such a weird video for someone like our age.
Yeah. Because we grew up, man. Like, I know I'm the youngest one here. Like, that's quarterbacks I grew up watching. Those are the legends.
I remember when he was on the Chargers.
I'm not
I
trying
to that personally.
I'm not trying to be funny here, but Nolan, how old are you?
22.
How many years? What year is Tom Brady in?
20th, I think. 21st. I think he's his 20th year, right?
I mean, you don't know football without Tom Brady.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You don't know football without
I
him.
grew up with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. Like those are like the three. Payne obviously retired, and now Tom. Like it's crazy to watch that video. Like I kind of got sad. I was like,
It's
oh,
upsetting.
man.
I think that was the biggest takeaway for me from that game. Is like it was upsetting because it's Brees is gone. He's one of the goats, man. So it'll be interesting to see what New Orleans does. I think Jameis could be the answer. I think he stinks, but maybe he could be good.
I think Jameis is the answer.
I think he stinks, but he could be good.
Jameis is the answer. Give me some crab legs. Give me some crab legs, and Jameis is the answer.
Did you just give me the finger?
I did give you the finger. Jameis, how dare you say he stinks? Jameis
stinks.
A gunslinger.
He stinks.
Back to the game. Like I said earlier, once Taysom Hill was ruled out, I knew the Saints were going to have a hard time putting up points just because how lackluster Brees is, and he's just so old and injured. And so when Hill was out, I was like, yeah, that's going to be tough for them to score points. And as you saw, they needed Jameis Winston to get him a touchdown.
Yeah, to a wide open guy.
Yeah. Also, it is sad though. Talking about Drew Brees, if you had to guess, how many yards per throw do you think Brees averaged in this game?
I'm gonna say 4.5.
Okay, Sean, what do you think?
4.7.
3.9. Oh! 3.9 yards per throw. God. Oh, that just I saw that and made me sad. It's like, dude, you can't even. Oh, that's so sad.
That stinks, man.
Oh, also, I can't believe Tom Brady's 43 years old, dude.
Dude, he's slinging it.
He threw for almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, when is he gonna stop being good?
I don't know.
It's crazy to me, man.
It's crazy.
He's got 2 more after this year. I think he's got 2 more left. For sure. And even then, he'll still be in the top half of the league in terms of quarterbacks.
For sure. All right, let's move on to the last game this weekend before we start talking about next weekend. Browns Chiefs. Somebody take it away. I don't care who. I'm just sad about it.
So I'll start. I'll start with a little something. It stinks. It hurt. I felt like that was a game we could have won, especially late down the stretch there with Chad Henne in. But to be positive, glass half full here, Baker showed progression, and that's something he hasn't done since. I mean, he had his rookie year, and you can argue he's been not progressing at all whatsoever, like none, just his acting career in commercials. But he progressed through the season, and that's a good sign for us. So if Baker's progressing, and this is the first offseason that we're not talking about a coach and a quarterback. We should not talk about a coach and a quarterback this offseason. We got our coach. We got our quarterback. Let's move on, which is a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, a lot of reasons to look up for the Browns moving forward. Speaking specifically about the game, our defense needs Greedy Williams and Grant Delpit back ASAP.
And
Greedy might not play ever again, though. I've heard
he's got nerve damage, so it's not just like an injury he can come back from.
No, I mean he can play 1 game and 2 games later he can take a shot and he could be out for a prolonged period again. He might be. He might be honorary. He might be a deep assistant D-back coach.
That defense was just. I don't know, man. Joe Woods, I don't know what his game plan was some of the times, like in like the situational downs. I don't know what he was telling his guys or if his guys were just like new, but the Browns got absolutely destroyed in the slot. The slot cornerbacks for the Browns are trash. I'm sorry. I know they're out there like working their ass off, but that 4th down play with Tyreek Hill, I've never seen a corner get burned so bad on a 2-step route. He was 20 yards away from Tyreek Hill before the play even started.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're doing. It's a short yardage situation. Why are you not manning up the best player? It was just Joe Woods is so. I watch him call a defense, and it's the most boring thing I've ever seen. There's no deception. There's no aggression. There's nothing that would have me feeling confident in Joe Woods moving forward that he's still our defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And I understand that. And I think it comes back to me that we haven't had consistency in the Browns organization in like 30 years, it seems like. if Kevin Stefanski, who I trust with my life, says Joe Woods is our defensive coordinator, I trust him, that I'm with it. You know, I don't want to bring in a new guy with a new scheme let's just I'm in the group. Let's just one more year. You know, we didn't have the talent. Our defense was not good, straight up. Very, very untalented.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like he was the DB's coach in San Francisco. And when that defense was nasty, it's because they had such a sick front four. They could have sent 3 guys and got to the quarterback. So they were more conservative calling in the secondary because their front four could just rush the quarterback. This year with the Browns, a little bit different because our back end of the secondary was awful. So now he can't really send a lot of pressure because he doesn't trust the guys to man up or play any kind of solo defense. So then we have to run more conservative play calling, which sucks. But that's why, let's just see. I'm in good. Let's just see.
I agree with you. I think the personnel is why we say let's see. But Connor's right. Even back to the Pittsburgh game, he just rushed 3 and just dropped back. That's all it was rush 3, drop back, and then
we don't have the guys to be able to do that. We got to send pressure.
We get Delpit back, and I think for anything we need to find a running mate for Myles Garrett. I mean, the dude's the best in the game, but I mean he gets triple teamed, and no one, they're not even worried about the rest.
And also I think COVID really did a number on him. He even said he was having trouble breathing, and even though that was a few weeks ago, you could tell it was still taking a toll on him.
Yeah, but I think we got to adjust the secondary and get a running mate for Myles. Someone to the point where, teams can't afford to triple team him. You saw the formations where they were split out wide. He was, 8 feet away from somebody. He was all the way on the outside, and all they did was just double team him. They weren't worried about anybody else on the line. Not worried at all.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because you got guys in the middle, Ogunjobi and Richardson.
They're solid.
They're very good interior defenders. But they cannot get a pass rush.
No.
Good run stoppers.
And it stinks that Olivier Vernon went out because Claiborne and Gustin, some backup DNs, they're very serviceable DNs. But we needed Vernon in that game, and it showed. I want to get you guys' thoughts on the Chad Henne 3rd and 14 scramble.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't know what else to say.
I don't really.
No.
I don't know what else to say. It was horrible. How can you let that happen?
I think you got to send pressure there, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. It's 3rd and 14. This dude hasn't played. What are you doing, sitting back and covering? And especially, you guys see the screenshot of the guy. I think it was Johnson, number 36. I could be wrong.
Oh, MJ Stewart.
Yep. At the first down marker, he was facing Henne before he took out of the pocket and continued to face him. Let him run 14 yards for the first down while guarding the wide receiver behind him. What are you doing?
He's horrible. He might be the worst player in football. I want to see what his Madden rating is.
It's crazy, though, because he led the team in interceptions this year.
He stinks. I don't care.
So the other part about that, the reason why the Chiefs won that game is because, like I said, their situational football IQ and knowledge is amazing, and that's what I think Stefanski needs to get a little bit better at, which is fine because he's a first-year coach. But Andy Reid, I guarantee you, him and Bieniemy went into that play call and said, Henne, you're going to have a chance to scramble on this play.
Yeah.
If you don't find your first read, take off. They're not expecting it.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what Kevin Stefanski will get better at, and the team will get better at as we grow. Yeah. But I think that's exactly what Andy Reid and Bieniemy were in his ear saying, yo, you want to know what's really going to work on this play? Not the post route we're running. You're going to be able to scramble because they're going to be man coverage down the field like they've been all game, and you're going to be able to take off and get us at a 4th and because they were 4th and 5 and under. They were going for that.
Yeah,
I don't care what it. They were going to end that game because they stopped the Browns and they knew they weren't going to stop the Browns again. Which is still another thing. The Browns went 3 and out after the interception.
I didn't like the second down call on that. We didn't get much on the first, and then they ran it to Chubb off tackle. I didn't like that play. I did not like the run to Chubb. I would have dropped back 3 straight times. We're passing 3 straight times.
See, also here's the thing. I don't blame Stefanski for not going for it on that 4th and 9.
No, I think it was the right call.
You can,
yeah, because also it's in his head. 5 minutes left. Now I do have some issues with his timeout management in that second half.
Oh,
the challenge was awful. Challenge was awful. Lost time out there. We only had one left. I get pumped back the ball to KC. They got Chad Henne, and we had the opportunity. We had the opportunity. Kevin Stefanski put his guys the opportunity to get one stop and give Baker the chance to win that game. And that 3rd and 14 and that 4th and 1 couldn't do it. So I don't really blame Stefanski. I think it's something that, like those are calls that you make based on your personnel and based on your team that specific season. And I don't blame him at all for that call necessarily. And I think that is something he's going to learn from and get better from here on out.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him at all for punting on the 4th. I mean, if Patrick Mahomes was still in the game, you go for it on 4th and 9 or whatever it was. You go for it. Right?
Also, if Mahomes,
Henne's in the game, if Mahomes is in the game, you go for it because Mahomes is going to get the football and it's over. You're not getting it back. You're not getting it back.
No, I'm with you.
I think he's got to know that, man. Under 5 minutes in that type of football game, I'm thinking 4-down territory anywhere on the field.
Yeah, that's true. No,
I think that's where we underestimated the Chiefs overall. Because like little do we know, regardless of Mahomes or not, that offense is still so deadly. And you got Mahomes or you got Reed and Bieniemy calling that offense. I'm still nervous to give them the ball back. I want the ball in my hands for the last 5 minutes of the game.
That's fair. That's fair.
First down, run the ball. Second down, run the ball. Third down, something quick, give it to Jarvis. 4th down, if you have it, still go for it. So I think it's a learning experience. Like we said, it was an awesome weekend, a lot of fun. Stinks we can get the W, but I think there was definitely some missed opportunities out there, especially because I thought we played the better game for a good portion of it.
Yep. Can we talk about how I bet the rule next year is you can challenge and look into lowering the helmet?
Yeah, that's the NFL wants to talk about players.
How do you miss that call?
You can't challenge.
How do you miss that call?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dumbest rule I've ever witnessed in football is that touchback rule. How does the ball? Oh my gosh, dude, that was brutal. Absolutely
keep it with the offense to the 20-yard line, or literally any fumble that is fumbled out of bounds is retained by the offense at that point. How come it goes out of the end zone? It's just as lucky. Like, if fumble's a fumble. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a
as soon as
play
it's out of
most
the hands,
of the
there's no control over it. So why does someone get punished? It doesn't.
It makes no sense, and it's. I don't want to say we lost on that because we still lost the game.
We did. No, we lost on that. That was it. You go into halftime 16-10, and then if assuming the game unfolds the same way it did.
Assuming that. Fair enough.
I will say, though, I don't think we go into halftime 16-10. I think the Chiefs at least get a field goal. So
because they still would have had a minute left, probably.
They still would have had Mahomes, and they were going to score regardless out of that.
Yeah.
But to have 16 points at the half against the Chiefs and then get the ball to start the second half.
Which,
I would have been ecstatic.
It was just demoralizing. But I love from the Browns, though, is that they didn't give up. If Baker led the charge, they didn't give up. We were down 19-3 at half, and they didn't stop. We brought the game back. We got some luck with Mahomes getting out, which, again, I hope he's okay. Wish no ill will, obviously. It even though it benefited the Browns to see him leave, it still sucked to see him leave.
Yeah. For sure.
But all right. Before we get into our last segment to the booth, let's just give some quick predictions on this week's games. Just like we don't gotta spend a long time. Just like some game picks. All right, so we got Bills at Chiefs. Chiefs -3. What do you guys think?
If you like the Chiefs from a Glocksmith betting perspective, if you like the Chiefs, take them -3. Because soon as I'm telling you, from what Jay Glazer said on Colin Cowherd, Patrick Mahomes will pass concussion protocol because he got knocked out during the game, but not via concussion, via like a chokeout situation with his artery getting blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So Patrick Mahomes will be back. So if you like Chiefs -3, take them right now. This line will go up to 5 or 6 the second Mahomes news comes out. So take Chiefs -3 if you like them now. And then for Packers at Bucks, -4 is I think it's the right line with the Packers being at home. Now it's interesting because the Bucks blew the Packers out last time they played. And the linebacker for the Bucks already mentioned that in his post-game press conference. So I think the Packers-Bucks is going to be a hell of a game.
Yep.
We're going to see the two of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it go after it. I think this game's a toss-up. I have no clue what's going to happen.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to take this is tough. I'm going to take the Chiefs -3. I think being at home, they have the experience. the Bills are a great team. They're going to be great for a while, but just the way they played the last 2 weeks is a little alarming. The Chiefs, again, great situational defense for the Chiefs. Tyrann Mathieu, that dude could be a Super Bowl MVP. Like, oh my gosh, he's unreal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Chiefs -3, and I'm going to stick with my before the playoffs predictions. I'm taking the Bucs, man. I think it's going to be Chiefs-Bucs Super Bowl. I think the Bucs come in. I think they shock the Packers. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to come down to the last drive, who gets the ball last. I think Tom Brady and the Bucs get it done.
Yeah, I'm not talking about any other game or any other team, but Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, they do it all. They go all the way. So I think it'll be a State Farm Super Bowl. State Farm.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
State Farm's gonna be so hype. They're like so hype.
All right, now the third segment. So we talked about it a little bit earlier. The Browns Chiefs, Hollywood Higgins fumbling, the touchback rule, and the no targeting, and the non-review, and all that BS. Well, we got a new segment for you guys. It's called To the Booth. Now, we got some picks for things that we want to we would want to go back in time and review, take it to the booth, and get more conclusive evidence on something. So, Sean, why don't you start us off? What is your first To the Booth pick?
So I'm only saying this because I know she doesn't listen, but I am going back on every argument with my wife where she has claimed that I've said something or I have not said something for further review, because I would be 10 out of 10, 100%. I would win every single one because I know I said it.
I'm about to send this episode to Dana. Just
please don't, or there will be 2 of you recording next week, and I will not be around. But I'm going to the booth on all of them, everyone.
All right.
I'm right every single time. I've been right. I don't say this to her, obviously, for my life reasons, but I'm right every single time. Just throwing that out there.
Well, all right. Fair enough. Connor, what about you? What are you taking to the booth?
I'm taking to the booth my college home run. It wasn't controversial at all. I got in, late game situation after we were romping a team. It was my sophomore year, still fringe starter kind of stuff. But I hit a home run, and people like to discount it as only going so many feet. All I know is that shit went over the fence.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. It went over the fence. It was a home run. I ran around the bases really fast because I didn't know it was a home run originally. So that's why I'm taking back to the booth, to show everybody exactly how far it went over the fence, where it went over the fence, and then your boy hit a home run.
Okay. You got to get the proper measurement. Is it a first down or not? How far did this really go?
Exactly. People said the fence was only 300, but the fence was like 315 with a high fence. It was a high fence. Yeah. So I'm like, it easily went. It had gone like 320, 330 at least.
Yeah,
so
we got to replay that.
The booth. Yeah, and get like we'll have to get the SportsCast, StatCast trajectory, all the data on that one.
I like that. All right. My pick to the booth. I want to go back and review Kevin Durant's birth, because I don't believe that he is a human being. I think he's a demigod. And I need to go back and make sure that this man was actually born from 2 human beings, because I just don't believe it. This dude does the things this man does on a basketball court is comparable to like God.
I just got the image in my head. I just got the image in my head of Nolan under the booth and then turning and running. Yep, Kevin Durant, and like doing the sign for the first down. Like, yep, human.
After review, everything on the field is confirmed. He is a
Kevin
human.
Durant.
Kevin Durant. But that's what I'm going back to review, because that dude's unreal. Same thing for LeBron too, honestly. But
yeah. So my next one would be, so back in like 2000. I don't know, like 9, 10, I got into a car accident, right?
Yeah.
My fault.
Okay.
My fault. Rear-ended the car in front of me. I was trying to switch lanes to get over to the right. And I'll never forget, the dude was looking at me. And I'm looking at him like, yo, can I get over? Like, you're purposely going next to me. I was more paying attention that way. Looked in front of me, too late, hit the brakes, boom. Crushed the car in front of me. Ugh. But everyone there was like, he was speeding. I want to review that because I don't feel like I was speeding. I just wasn't paying attention to what was in front of me. And it's bothered me, and it was an 89 Buick, so like I couldn't go that fast anyways. This, it was 2009. I got like a 20-year-old car. So I would just like to take that to the booth and really get a feel for my speed. Don't think I was
Fair
speeding.
enough.
I want to review that.
That's a productive review.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like that one would end up being a call on the field stands type of situation.
It's just inconclusive evidence.
Inconclusive.
If,
But
they,
like,
if they called it a car, an accident and your fault in the first try, like it's hard to reverse it.
yeah, I feel like it's one of those where like there was too many bodies on the goal line to like not tell if he crossed or not. So they're
Right.
just gonna go with what was on the field. So that challenge I might lose. The first one I'm winning all of them. This one, it's a legitimate review.
Yeah.
I want to review it.
Speaking of winning challenges, my next one, where I'm going to the booth, just like my first one, it was a great feat of strength, really showing off my athletic ability. But I would like to review every single one of my 320-yard plus drives I've had in my life, specifically one I had at Fowler's Mill. Now, I was playing with Jack Williams, great friend of the show, and we were on, if anyone's ever played at Fowler's Mill, back up in Cleveland area, there's this hole that is a huge dogleg right. Like you're supposed to lay up, or you can even hit driver straight. It's such a huge dogleg right, and there's this massive lake on your right.
Mm.
And if you try and tee off from the tee box and you want to big balls it, go to the green, it's 325 to land it on the other side of the lake and 340 to the green. So I said I was feeling good that day.
My God.
My drive was on fire, and I said, dude, screw this layup. Like, I'm just blasting one over this lake.
Hell yeah.
So I hit it over the lake. It's no splash, no nothing. I see this thing land, right? We go try and find it. And like I said, the green was 340. Guess what? We never found the ball. It wasn't in the hole. So,
okay.
ipso facto, my drive was like 350, 60 yards into the woods beyond the green. Never found it. So I'd like to get a review to try and find that ball.
You think you belted that
I
thing?
think I belted this ball. Now, there was a cart path involved, so it still could have landed 350 at the cart path and then bounced into the woods, but we never found this ball. And we looked for a long time. I know Jack's going to remember the story, so please confirm it via Twitter or however you would like to, Jack. But to this day, that ball went 340 in the air, maybe 350. I don't know where it is to this day.
Can Jack please confirm that somehow?
Yeah, we need this. We need to hear this.
You're out here talking about hitting bombs, cuz I need someone to confirm that.
Since then, I've shortened up my swing a little bit. I just try and go for 280, 300. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, we need a fact checker again, like when we had our dad on IPs at PAT and Sean fact checked him with the temperature. Yeah, we need to have that consistently. He was, man. That was awesome. I'm not surprised. That was awesome.
I was.
All right. My next review, dude, I want to go back in time into McDonald's when their little corporate headquarters were having these little corporate meetings, and they were like, yeah, let's push out filet of fish sandwiches and McRibs. Bro, what? What? I mean, who thought of these, dude? I've seen, and honestly, TikTok, I mean, I would never eat these things a day in my life. And TikTok exposed them because like McDonald's employees would just like take videos of them making these sandwiches. Bro, they are nasty. The McRib is just like a slab of like tofu.
It's all nasty.
Oh God, it's so. And like McDonald's is gross to begin with, but like
I don't know, that chicken nuggets hit.
And the filet o fish, bro, you should never get slapped. Oh my God, man. I want to go back. I want to see whose ideas those were, because I want to slap them in the face.
Damn, that's great. No, that might have been your best take ever on this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That was good.
Thank you. All right, Sean, what's your last one? What are you taking to the booth?
I'm taking to the booth. And Nolan, when we talked a little bit before and you gave me some insight on yours, it got my gears going. Yeah. And I want to see if there was excessive celebration for one of the greatest inventions ever. And that's the Netflix skip intro button. So I want to see in the room, because this is how I envision it in my mind. Nice big oak wood table, 20 chairs around, all black leather, obviously.
Yeah. All right, I like this.
And nothing on the table besides like a phone. And I'd like to think the guy who like everyone would tell to just shut up, like spoke up and was like, hey, what if we have like a skip intro button? Because no one gives a shit about the intro. And then I like to think there was a moment of silence and everybody went nuts. They just were like, dude, you're a fucking man. Like it just the room erupted, papers flew in the air. People were standing on chairs. That's what I like to think. And they're like, this is gonna change it because it's one of the best inventions besides like the popcorn button on the microwave, right? Well, like whoever thought of that is like it had to have been excessive celebration. Someone had to have been like, okay, start a flag.
I feel like we experience that every week because whenever I actually say something smart that you guys agree with, you guys go crazy.
You just killed my whole vibe.
Yeah, what?
Dude, see, this is what I'm talking about. 5 minutes ago, you're saying it's a great thing you ever had. Now, right now, you're dogging me. This is what I'm talking about.
I don't remember, but no, like that's what I would want to go back. I would want to see. If you think about it, there's all these inventions that happen, these little things where like somebody spoke up in a room. And,
yeah,
like, I like to think in that room. When people really registered, like who wants to watch a whole 30-second intro, just skip it. Like the room erupted.
Oh, some of them, you talk about Narcos, it's like 2.5 minute long intro.
Yeah, like, dude.
Some of those Netflix originals are long.
No, you're right though. Now I'm thinking about it. Like again, yeah, like some dude that everybody hates is like, oh yeah, this. And you're just like, man, shut.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like to think,
I like that.
I like to think that the guy who thought of it, who threw that idea out, was like some intern on his way out, and no one liked him. Like it was the guy who chewed with his mouth open all the time. Like it was that guy, you know. But
yeah,
I like that. Yeah, I would love to see that too. You're right. Okay, all right. Well, those are things we would take to review. There's so many more. Oh my gosh, I could list these off for days, dude. But. Any other thoughts on wild card weekend? Not wild card weekend, divisional round, championship round, anything like that? Also, George Springer to the Blue Jays. That's breaking news, by the way. Yardback. Scooped that. I didn't scoop it, but I saw it on ESPN, so I'm gonna claim it as a scoop.
The Glocksmith actually notified me of it. I got some inside sources with the Glocksmith.
All right, so the Glocksmith scooped it. So we got George Springer to the Blue Jays. We're gonna be talking baseball in a little bit. We're still a little ways away, but we're almost there.
Almost there.
Yeah, a couple things to keep out on your radar for our fans out there. Follow us on Facebook. We got a group that Sean and Q started. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter. We're going to work on trying to release some TikToks, some YouTube channels. So keep an eye out for that. And most importantly, rumor has it, there might be some merch dropping pretty soon.
Ooh, might be rocking it.
Give those 5-star likes on every platform, Apple, Spotify. once we launch at YouTube, like I said, Gucci Man is giving us his green light to be great. So you will be hearing from Gucci Man's guide to greatness in the coming weeks, and we're looking forward to building this out. So hit us up, like us up, and keep coming back.
Hell yeah! And for Connor and Sean. My name is Nolan. We will see you guys next time. Peace.